Hi, everybody. We're going to get started in just a couple minutes, so go grab your team, grab your success partners, make sure they are hopping on. They don't want to miss this call, y'all. Hi, guys. Somebody with a double time challenge pack in the month of November. Let's see who's helping people, helping new families with double time. Hoo, hoo, hoo. 3 Success Club points this month, which is amazing. So fun. So fun. Awesome, guys. So cool. We're going to get started in just a second, you guys. One more round of recognition. Let's celebrate these guys. These guys have worked really, really, really hard. Super proud, you guys. Awesome job, Shannon. Congratulations, Abby. Success Starter Month 3. That is huge, girl. Awesome job. Savannah, new Emerald Coach. Yay! Really, really awesome. Jen, congratulations on going Emerald, activating your business center. So fun. Brooke, yay! Way to go, girl. Official Success Starter. Really cool. Joanna, you got month 1 done. Congratulations for Success Starters. Yay! Sarah, Success Starter as well. So awesome. Month 1 is done. 2 to go. Becca, you did all 3. Congratulations. That is huge. You earned your ticket to Summit. Awesome. Huge shout out to our girls, Carrie and Allie, for repping the leaderboard with 500 PV. And all of our new coaches advancing their businesses to Emerald this month. We've got so many new Emeralds in the month of November and October who are earning their exclusive mermaid headband. So huge, huge congratulations, you guys. I'm going to do one more announcement, and then we're going to get started here. Yay! Welcome, everybody. All right. Okay, guys, I'm going to get started. Let me turn my webcam off real quick. Okay, here I am. Hi, you guys. Welcome to our DU family night. This is going to be so much fun tonight. I cannot wait to introduce our special guest speaker tonight. But before I do that, I want to show one more thing. I want to make sure you guys do not miss this. I am hosting a free group starting 11/27. That's Monday, and we're all doing Clean Week. So I wanted to offer this, extend this invitation to you. If you're new to coaching, if you're stepping back into your coaching, whatever the case may be, I want you to feel free to invite to Clean Week. If you don't know what that is, just type it in the FAQ and you will quickly learn. It's a week-long, basically program led by Megan Davies. They'll have access to their workouts that they can stream online and try out on demand. They'll have a full meal plan, and they have the option to purchase a 7-day sampler of Shakeology from you for about $30 for them. So it's a really fun way to get people started, to introduce people to what they can plug into in our challenge groups. It's perfect for beginners, perfect for postpartum women, because it's easy does it, right? So it's very basic movement, but there's also an option to step it up if they do have a foundation for fitness. So I wanted to make sure that you guys knew that you are able to invite to that. I am going to put it in my challenge tracker app so they have experience logging their workouts and their Shakeology in the My Challenge Tracker app. So be on the lookout in the Coach Family page for more details on that. If you'd like to partner with me, I'll lead the group for 7 days, but you'll obviously coach your people and give them a really great experience, just sort of diving into these home workouts, our meal plans, and hopefully Shakeology, and using you as their support. Okay. So let me turn off my screen share and let me get going introducing tonight's guest speaker. This is super fun for me. Did I ever think that this was going to happen? No, but my husband, Loren David Chamard, is speaking tonight on our team training. Let me give you a tiny bit of background, and then I'm going to turn it over to him because I want him to have the full time. But you guys, tonight he's talking about our why, and he's going to sort of chat about this, I think probably too. But on Sunday night, we're trying to get really good about touching base and sharing about what's to come, in the upcoming week. And so on Sunday, we're sort of chatting about business commitments, and the team training came up, DU Family Night came up. So I talked to him about the topic, and I just was thinking to myself, and I said to him, I just really wish we could switch it up a little bit. This is a topic that has been talked about a lot. A lot of coaches have sort of heard this day in and day out as a coach, your why. And so I was just telling him, I wish we could bring some fresh perspective. I wish we could bring, just sort of a new perspective. And he was like, why don't I do the training? And I'm like, yeah, why don't you do the training? So it is amazing. I've gotten a sneak peek at the content. It's such a special training tonight because in my opinion, it's sort of like half personal development and motivation, inspiring story, and half teachable action items that you can apply to your business. So he's going to take you through his journey from what he would consider quitting and all the way through becoming a U.S. Navy SEAL, what that process was like for him, the obstacles that he met along the way, and how that can directly correlate to your business, to our businesses. So I've been super inspired by it. I hope you will too. I hope you've got a pen and paper because he is going to give you some takeaways. And of course, there's going to be a call to action at the end. So this is the co-founder of Dynasty United. This is my better half, my husband, Loren Chamard. Honey, I'm going to turn it on over to you, babe.
All right. Well, thank you for the introduction from the downstairs. I am Loren David Chamard. Welcome to Family Night. I'm really happy to be here. Awesome. I'm husband of awesome Brittany Legette. Obviously, she's top 10 coach. And I'm the husband of Roux, or the father of Roux, the famous Roux. So I'm excited to be here. So thank you for everyone joining the call first off. And I want to talk about tonight, specifically about breaking down your why. So you don't turn around and quit on yourself. Like I've learned in my past. I'm going through buds, and I'll go ahead and get started. Sunday, when Brittany and I were talking about, tonight's call, we have a ton of great leaders in this organization who have really capitalized on their why. But I suggested, like Brittany said, that maybe we should go a little different perspective here and That's from a guy perspective, and I got to witness our great coaches, my wife, go through some of the same things that we all go through, trying to find our why. And at the same time, I was trying to find my why going through what you guys know is the world's toughest military school. It's Navy SEAL school, otherwise known as BUDS, Basic Underwater Demolition SEAL School. So I'm going to share with you guys tonight some whys, and why some whys didn't necessarily work because they weren't big enough. And I'll share with you the whys that ultimately made me a Navy SEAL. To give you a little background info, BUDS, it's a highly competitive dog-eat-dog world. Not only are you tested to your absolute max physically, but it becomes so physical that mentally it actually breaks you down. For the past almost 60 years, since that first class, it's been common to have an attrition rate of 80% or higher. So what that means is more often than not, less than 10% of those original faces that I started with would be there on that last day 6 months later. This video I'm going to show you is what's known as First Fades and Buds. It lasts 4 weeks, and it's heading into the peak of our training, which is Hell Week, which is the 5th week. And this is the selection phase. This is where most students get weeded out.
Stand up straight. That is what I thought. You weren't doing anything on that, were you? Let's go. 6 feet from the log in front of you. What's the problem?
All right. So I guess there was no sound on that video for some of that video. That's okay. You guys get the point from watching that it's pretty intense. And it takes me back sometimes, and it's not a good thing. Now, one thing we need to know before I get started here is we all need to know why I decided to go to Buds at the age of 23. I just graduated college. I had finished playing college soccer on scholarship, and I was pretty athletic, and I wanted to challenge myself physically harder than I'd ever been tested. I really wanted to test myself against some of those badass, tough individuals on the planet and really have an experience of a lifetime. Of course, I wanted to serve my country. I decided that first and foremost, but I figured if I was going to try this military thing out, it might as well be the hardest thing that was out there. You guys hear what I'm saying, right? Is I wanted to experience Buds. How most people want to experience signing up and running a 5K race. Sorry. You guys can see the slide. Okay. Now imagine you guys just training mentally in your mind for a 5K race or physically. Some people just sign up and decide, you know what, I'm going to go do a 5K race. And then realizing on race day you show up and you actually signed up for a marathon. The next clip I'm going to show you is a clip of Hell Week. This is the toughest mental and physical portion of Buds. And this is where most students drop all at once. And this is ultimately where I would quit. Just stand by with me for a second. I enter this.
Encounter
People always wonder why I quit the first time. And yes, it was the cold. I'm not going to lie. It was the lack of sleep. It was everything. In Hell Week, they give you 2 hours of sleep for the entire week. That's 7 days. This is while you're in that constant state of hypothermia. If you caught that one individual who couldn't even count his number in the line, we would call that hyped out. It's basically a state of hypothermia where you just are brain dead. And then to warm you up, they send you on a 4-mile timed run. Timed. You have to pass this, and then you do it back to back. It truly is amazing what our bodies are capable, but our minds are capable of so much more. I would tell people the reason I quit was the same reason that 99% of candidates don't make it. It's not because of injury. It's not because of my performance. Because combined, I would guess that those numbers are less than 5%. You wouldn't even make it that far if you weren't physically fit enough to get to buds. You wouldn't make it. You guys get that? The best athletes, they don't always make it. We have All-American swimmers in these spaces. We have All-American wrestlers. We have professional athletes. I had a professional NFL player in my class. We have triathletes that quit. You could line up all the candidates in a row, and no one would ever be able to guess who's going to make it. And why is that? Because each of these individuals, they bring their own why into training, and you can't see those reasons that each person showed up. All you can see is physically how prepared each person is. One person is a little overweight over here. Maybe another guy has a six-pack over here. But when you look at SEALs and SEAL teams, most guys, you would never be able to tell that they were a Navy SEAL because it's all up here. You see, my why wasn't great enough the first time around. Yes, I wanted to serve my country. But as we all know, there are a lot of professions that we can do that. Every one of these candidates wanted to serve their country. I wanted to be part of the best. I wanted to prove myself that I could do it. I wanted to have an amazing experience. I. There's a theme here, and I think we all get the point. When you look at what you're trying to achieve in your business, if all it's about is who you want to be, what you want to achieve, then I have some harsh news. It's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough when those tough times come around in business, because they are going to come. And when it becomes so easy for a way out, you're going to give yourself a break, because after all, you're only disappointing yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself, you'll say. And every successful entrepreneur or Navy SEAL, it's never just about them. They also never go at it alone. 2 is 1 and 1 is none is our motto at Buds. My first takeaway, you can write this down, is your why is not about you. Your why is not about you. So who is it about? Ask yourself that question. A little background story. About 2 years after I quit Buds, my girlfriend at the time, now my wife, was visiting me here in Virginia Beach. I wanted her to meet my best friend Tyler, who I had gone through boot camp with, and then we went to Buds together as well. Well, he made it. He was now tasked to SEAL Team 4, and I was really proud of him. I just wanted Brittany to meet this awesome guy. So we went out one night, had a couple beers with him. Brittany got to meet him. And then Brittany had to head back next morning to Florida, and he had to go training that weekend. And I was actually on a ship at the time, and I was going underway the following morning. But the morning I shipped out, I received a call from a close friend, and I thought it was a little unusual. When I picked up the phone, my friend Brad asked me if I had seen the news. a SEAL had died during a practice stop operation. And then Brad said something that I will absolutely never forget. He said, I could have sworn they said it was Tyler. Now, Brittany and I had just gone out with him the night before. I thought, there's no way this could be real. Well, it was real. And they found out that there was nothing that they could have done about it. While he was diving, he had an aneurysm and he drowned. It was his time. You know, I'm thankful every day for the time we had together and that Brittany got to meet him. But what was once an afterthought about going to Bud's, because I constantly talked to Tyler about me going back and that it was always an option. But now it became on the forefront of my mind. My best friend, who had just began his career as a Navy SEAL and never even got to deploy, he died. I felt called, like this was my time, like I was supposed to be his replacement. And so with that, I started training again. My why just became so much bigger than myself, and it was to honor my friend. So I ran my first marathon, and then I did my first triathlon, and Brittany came up and supported all of it. She was so supportive of my goal. I joined a group of like-minded individuals, and they were also trying to get back to Bud's. We worked really hard together, but more than that, I worked hard for Tyler. He was always on my mind. Darren Hardy, he makes a point that we often overlook the importance of inspiration because we're so focused on being motivated. And he says that the problem here is motivation is short-lived. Once you achieve that reward, the motivation is then gone. But inspiration is intrinsic. It will propel us from mundane to magnificent, and it keeps us going through hardships, triumphs, different seasons. Tyler, he was my motivation. He was not my motivation. He was my inspiration. He was my inspiration, and he would constantly drive me to be the next version of him. There was nothing that was there was no goal to reach. There was nothing that was going to propel me in a different direction. Sure enough, a little less than a year after his death, I received orders back to Bud's. And then this happened, which was another setback. I had torn my shoulder while training to go to Bud's. I wasn't even at Bud's yet. And I thought, you know what? This was a sign. This must be the end for sure this time. They'll never let me go back now. I'm 27, cutoff age is 28. I'm injured. But sure enough, some higher power was looking out for me because I got to see this amazing orthopedic. And because I previously had orders to Bud's, they gave me the same special treatment that a SEAL would get. I got seen immediately. And then Bud's, well, they said that if I could recover, they would keep my spot. I had surgery. I went through extensive rehab. Brittany supporting me the whole way and making trip after trip up to see me. And of course, Tyler, my inspiration, was always on my mind. If I had any shot of making this work, I wouldn't let him down. 4 months later, I made almost a full recovery. I was able to take the screener test again and pass it. But I wouldn't fully recover until after Bud's. I was going to have to tough it out. Nonetheless, I still received the orders back to Bud's again. And it wasn't long until after I received those orders that I realized that this girl, she was the one. My only hang-up was I didn't know what the heck I was going to do with the rest of my life. After all, the likelihood of making it through SEAL school at this point was slim to none. Would I be a good enough husband material? I know that's a silly thought right now, but that's all I ever talked about with her. Would she respect me if it didn't work out? I spent way too much time debating over if I should or should not ask the big question before or after I became a SEAL. And I came to recognize that there weren't any guarantees in this life. My friend just died. Who knows if I was going to make it to be a SEAL? But why wait when you already know when something was meant to be? So fast forward a few months later, and my now fiance and I were taking our first road trip together across the country to San Diego, California, to start Buds. And this picture here is us arriving on the beach where Buds starts. My second takeaway is the reason you're not successful isn't because of the systems. You're not successful because you don't believe in what you're doing. Without a doubt, my mind was in the right place that second time going back to Buds. I had been so quick to blame everything but myself, the training system, that it was flawed, that they were trying to kill me, that they didn't know what they were doing. No, Buds isn't a perfect system, but they absolutely do have it down to science. They know how long you can stay in the water at a certain temperature to make you hypothermic, and then bring you out just at that point where it could get really dangerous. No doubt they make great SEALs from that training. No, it was those small-minded, lowball goals I previously had my first time at Buds, that limiting why that went no further beyond myself. It was a thing of the past. I had purpose now. I truly believed in my why and why I was there. I had total belief in what I was doing. It didn't matter if it was 3 a.m. in the morning and I was stuck in the freezing cold like this. And the Pacific linked arms to the guy next to me, and he decides to get up and walk out of the water. And it's not for him. Because I looked up at the sky. I imagined Tyler, my friend, beckoning me just to get through it. I imagined my future wife and life with her. And I just thought about how much she believed in what I was doing. I knew in my heart that it was going to be all worth it. And those two people, those whys, saved me from walking out of that water and ultimately helped me see it through. My takeaway number 3 is give yourself no other options, no backup plans, because there's always an excuse. I ended up making it through Hell Week, and Brittany, crazy enough, we got married right before I started the second phase of training, which was dive phase. I flew back to Florida the day before our wedding. I barely made it. It was during Christmas break. And then the day after we got married, we rented this U-Haul. And because we had not been living together at this point, we packed up our stuff and drove across the country, again, this time with both cats, to move into our new apartment together as newlyweds. It was crazy. And it would only get crazier because I had a year left to actually train to become a SEAL. That first year of marriage was tough. I mean, if we saw each other, it was a high five, then I was back out the door again, or I would come in, have dinner, and immediately fall asleep, pass out on the couch. There was no honeymoon phase for us. Brittany was probably thinking, what the heck did I sign myself up for? On top of the stresses of work and Brittany being in a completely new place, we had both accumulated a lot of school debt. Now it became both of our problems. Brittany had a repossessed car that she still owed money for. Her mother had health issues. Our why together started to develop into not if we were going to make it through this training, but how. You see, there was this very large bonus incentive at the end of training that I would receive if completed. The bonus was something that we were in desperately need of with our debt. There were no other options for us. We had no other backup plans. We were all in. Now, while I was gone, training most every day, all day, Brittany started working as a nurse again. But also, she started doing P90X for something positive in her life, which, if you don't know her story, she had started and stopped 2 times before. She always quit it. If you ask me, I think I maybe influenced her a bit, finishing it that 3rd time. She would go on to crush it, but she also became a coach for the discount, and she showed me Shakeology. I absolutely loved Shakeology. But I'll never forget the day she showed me the video of her coach, Lindsay Matway, on YouTube, talk about the Beachbody business opportunity and what it did for her and her family. This girl, who had been in and out of bankruptcy, was now completely out of debt and now making over 6 figures. For me, I was like, sign me up. Lindsay's story was honest. It was real. It was vulnerable. I knew it was an opportunity. Now, when Brittany started this business, you could ask her. I was pretty annoyed. The time I was home, the little time, she seemed to always be on her computer or phone. It took a little bit of time to figure out our schedules. But by the end of that first year, she was earning as much in her side biz than I was earning with my entire military paycheck. It was at that point we kind of both decided that this was her full-time gig. And she wasn't quite making as much as her nursing job, but again, if we went all in, no other options, right? What could she accomplish? My takeaway number 4. Use your strengths. No one is inspired when they're doing something that they suck at. Do things you love, you'll naturally be good at them, and it will make you happy. You know what's great is God made everyone different. Not everyone enjoys the same things. Not everyone is good at the same things. And there's a reason for that. What if there were no coaches, just challengers? What if there were just architectures, but no builders? What if everyone was great at science, but we had no business-minded thinkers? Everyone is different, and that's so people can be good SEALs and good nurses, and people can be great with numbers, and then there's people who love fitness. At the beginning, Brittany's why was all about helping military wives plug into a healthy community. She used her strength, helping people. As a nurse, she was a natural caretaker of people. She started with what at the time seemed like a huge 5-star. But as she saw the potential of this business, the financial potential, she began to dream much, much larger. I remember seeing her on the balcony many mornings meditating. She would tell me later that it was a Beachbody mentor who we still absolutely love to this day that taught her a lesson of positive visualization statements. If you haven't seen this before, I highly suggest you make one. She began to repeat to herself daily, as a coach, I feel strong, happy, empowered, loved, relieved, confident, and at peace because I have balance with fitness and nutrition. As a coach, I feel significant, exhilarated, overjoyed, valued, and excited because I'm helping military wives improve their quality of life during deployment and helping them improve their financial standing. As a coach, I feel accomplished, proud, relieved, responsible, honored, overjoyed, significant, and loved because we are changing our future financially before we even start a family. Now, when I read this, I'm amazed because we actually accomplished these things. Neither of us could have ever known the power of these meditations because today we are actually helping military families through deployment. We are accomplished and financially secure, having now paid off all our college debt and gifted a car to my parents and just recently purchased our home of our dreams back in Florida. Now, when Brittany was using her strengths, during that same time, I was using my own. And this is my last story, and then I'll close this out. In buds, if you're not using your strengths, you're going to be overwhelmed comparing yourself to everyone else's. That sounds a lot like this business, right? Who's tried to compare yourself to someone higher up in rank and fallen short? Let me explain. I'm a sprinter. I've always been a sprinter and a power lifter And if you're familiar with the human anatomy, those two activities, they use fast twitch muscle fibers. In buds, you don't need them. The advantage is far better for those slow twitch muscle guys, the endurance runners, the swimmers. Now, if you're thinking, I thought you said you played college soccer, Loren. Yeah, I was a goalkeeper, so that didn't really help. In buds, we do 2 4-mile timed runs per week. We have to pass these with a certain time. And then along with that, we have multiple other running evolutions. If you remember seeing the video, you saw guys running around with boats on their heads. We do that all day. Trust me, I got good at running. But it didn't matter how good I was at running because most everyone in the class was way better. Almost every 4-mile timed run, I came in around the bottom quarter of the class. What the instructors do is at a certain point, they cut off the pack. The stragglers who come in through the finish line get a little extra special attention. They call this the goon squad. The instructors beat the goon squad just a little bit harder than the rest of the class, hoping to make them quit. Many goon squatters, squatties, however you want to say it, would decide, you know what, I'm never going to be fast enough to get out of this goon squad. This isn't fair. I'm just going to quit. It would have been easy to do that. After all, we were working way harder than the rest of the class. And it wasn't fair. But life isn't fair. And neither is war. So I changed my mindset. One thing that was a constant in that goon squad were buddy carry sprints, which at the top of the screen on the right side, you see an example of that. Usually it would be the first or second thing they would make us do, while everyone else got to sit down, relax, and just watch us. Now, if I would have gone to bed every night and dreaded the next day thinking, I'm going to be in every goon squad for the rest of buds, I would have never have made it. No. I challenged myself that if I was going to be in the goon squad, I was going to be the best in the goon squad. So for the rest of my training, on every 4-mile run where I was falling behind and I knew I was going to end up in the goon squad, I finished just fast enough to pass that timed evolution, leaving a little bit left in that tank. And I would grab somebody my size or maybe even a little lighter, and I would win that first buddy carry sprint. This would allow me to immediately be secured and with the rest of the class to the sitting and watching section while the rest of the goon squad continued on. Using my strength of being a sprinter, I was able to leverage and be the best every day at what I was naturally good at. I want to close with this. It's a quote from Simon Sinek in his book, Start With Why. All organizations, they start with why, but only the great ones keep their why clear year after year. Those who forget why they were founded, they show up to the race every day to outdo somebody else instead of outdo themselves. I hope you guys will find inspiration and then stick to your strengths to outdo yourself. Thanks for listening. We do have a couple call to actions tonight. And we're going to challenge you to write down who inspires you not to quit. And if they're still around, tell them. Also write down your top 5 strengths in relation to the business. And go ahead when you get the chance, post it in the Coach Family page at #DUFamilyChallenge. It was good talking to you guys, and I'll give it back to my wife. Brittany, I can't hear you.
Dude, sorry. I was so excited. I couldn't wait to start talking. My bad. That was amazing, Loren. That was so good. I am re-inspired. I've got some notes. I hope you guys have your notes. I thought the parallels that he shared from his journey and just his experience was super powerful. I think it's inspiring to anytime we watch an individual go through something really challenging or really tough, I think it's huge. And, I know there's a lot of military families represented in our whole team family. And so we give all of you props. We know each of you probably have an amazing story of resiliency to share and tenacity. And hats off to you guys and all of your families. And likewise, others that are not in military. We have all gone through tough things. And so I want to challenge you, just like Loren has shared his story and the tough obstacles he's gone through and the things that he's grown through. Like, think about the tough things that you've grown through, and think about that grit and that resiliency and that tenacity and that focus and that mindset that you had to apply to get through it. And remember that this business, sorry, I'm getting all excited here. Slow down. This business is going to give you some, throw some wrenches in there. It's never going to be a perfect power hour 7 days a week. There's going to be some challenges. And so, get so clear about your why. You've got to really break it down and get really personal. Remember what he said. Remember the quote that they talked about in Buds was 2 is 1, 1 is none. So if it's only about you, or if it's only about you getting fit, or if it's only about you paying off debt, it probably won't stand the test. It probably won't last. And so remember that the whole point here is breaking down your why so you don't break down and quit. And at the end of the day, the only person that can do that is you. So you guys, this was awesome. Loren, you did an amazing job. You guys, don't forget to take part in the call to action. Post in the coach family with the hashtag DU Family Challenge. Write down who inspires you not to quit, and tell them about it. Talk to them, communicate, and then write down your 5 top strengths in relation to this business. What can you utilize? What can you put at the front? What can you highlight? What can you offer your challengers and your team that you're really good at and you love doing? You guys, thank you so much for coming. Thank you, Loren, for all the preparation and your willingness to share your story and your journey, even the vulnerable parts with Tyler and your injuries and all that. So we really appreciate you and how you contribute, whether it be in front of the scenes or behind the scenes. You guys, don't forget the recording is available so that our teams can tap into this, be really inspired, and be challenged to break down their why a little bit more. You guys are amazing. We'll skip next week for Thanksgiving. Enjoy your families. Be safe, everybody, and stay tuned for some more information on our team-wide Clean Week group that starts 11/27. Help families get connected with Double Time Challenge Pack. Don't forget there were 3 Success Club points this month. All right, you guys, I will talk to you guys in 2 weeks for our next DU Family Night. Bye, everybody.